Good morning and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know, I love getting your day started off on the right foot. And to help with that, I use an inspiring quote. And this one, it's so good, from William James, who said, "The greatest use of a life is to spend it on something that will outlast it." Think about that for a second. Wow. I'm going to read it one more time. All right. The greatest use of a life is to spend it on something that will outlast it. I love that idea because we are trying to leave a legacy, aren't we? We want to matter here. And who are you going to matter to when your race is run down here, when you go on to heaven? Who are you still going to matter to here on this earth? What kind of legacy are you going to leave for your loved ones and for your friends, for those people who knew you? How will they remember you? That's a big question. You know what? It's a tall order to fill, but I believe that the way that you're living your life right now is an example. Yeah, I think that maybe the way that you treat others is going to be remembered. I love Proverbs 13:22. You know what it says? Good people leave an inheritance to their grandchildren, but the sinner's wealth passes to the godly. So what that says to me is, whatever I do, I want to do it not just for myself, but I want to do it for the others that come behind me. I want to make a lasting impression. I want to be known for the godly things that I've done. I want to be known for how God used me, how I was available to the use of the Holy Spirit to make a difference on this earth. And as you make yourself available, you better watch some amazing things happen. You better believe it's going to be there. Because, hey, there are some really big things that are done by some very small things. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to make a huge difference in your life, if you want to make a big change, sometimes we think, we got to go in, we got to just make this big change all of a sudden, and what happens? Nothing really happens. We get frustrated and we go back to the way we used to do things. But as you make these small tweaks, things get better and better and better and better. So I want to encourage you today. Don't feel so overwhelmed that you think you have to change things all at once, because lots of times it's those small things that you do day by day that matter the most, that make the biggest difference, that help you change the things that you need changed in your life. And one thing to always remember is keep coming to the Lord in prayer. He loves to hear from you. Continually be in prayer. That's what my Bible says. So how are you doing that in your life? As you communicate with God and He works through you, there's going to be a lasting impression left on this world. So I just wanted to encourage you and help you to remember, it's not just about you. It's about what you do that lasts. What kind of legacy are you leaving? Are you walking out Jesus' example so that when you're gone, people say, I remember that guy. He lit up a room every time he walked in. Or she had such an amazing way of listening and relating and helping and giving advice. You know, there are amazing things that God has gifted you with that you can use to better the world around you. So do it today, okay? All right, here's John Reddick with I Believe It right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. So what do you want for Christmas? That's a question you used to get asked a lot as a kid, right? But now as an adult, you're the one asking that question of your kids. So what do you want for Christmas? But wouldn't it be nice to be asked again? And somebody, just be ready to give you whatever you asked for. Oh, think about that for a second. Goodness, what would you want? I came across this and I thought, this is so relatable. So what do you want for Christmas? Well, lately I've been really into groceries and gas. Utilities are cool too. Stuff like that, I love it. Yes, things are so expensive these days, but just a little help on the necessities would really go a long way, wouldn't it? Yeah, I can relate too. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Thanks for hanging out with me. Glad we can have some fun together. Your word of life today comes to you from Psalm 9, verse 1, in the New Living Translation of the Bible. I will praise you, Lord, with all my heart. I will tell of all the marvelous things that you have done. Think about that one. Wow, he's done a lot of amazing things. We could talk forever about all the good he's done for us, couldn't we? Yeah. So, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you share this word of life with somebody today? We've made it real easy for you to do that, too. We've got it all across all of our socials: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. So we'd be honored if you'd share that word of life and maybe go a little further. Share a little bit of your story to go along with it. It's a great way of sharing your faith with those people around you. Yeah. Hey, tell you what, if you could use a little more help with sharing your faith, making it a little easier, maybe you kind of clam up when you think about sharing Jesus with others, go on over to our website, 885jfm.com, and right there in the main menu, click on that Dive In tab. And when you do that, you're going to find this thing called Soul Winning Tools, and those are some things to help you be more confident in sharing your faith. I think you're really going to love them. We have them in English and Spanish. So go check it out. Again, that's 885jfm.com. In the main menu, click Dive In and Soul Winning Tools.
This week, no bad days. We all have challenging days. We all have our challenges. We all have issues we must overcome. It's not what happens to us, though. It's not what someone else does or says. It's how we react. That's what matters. That's what affects the way we experience and encounter our day. This week, no bad days. Make sure you respond in a way that's healthy, respond in a way that's positive, respond in a way that results in no bad days.
I'm so happy to be back in the studio after a week-long vacation. We went to Gulf Shores. We had a great time, but something huge happened while I was away. And yes, we even felt it down there along the coast. Fall showed up. It was warm at the beginning of the week, and then it turned off cold. It was too cold to get into the ocean. So luckily, there was an indoor pool where we were staying. We still had a great time. But hey, let's talk a little bit more about those changing temperatures out there, because come on, we're in the 40s right now across North Alabama. I think maybe we're getting a little excited about some stuff we can do to stay warm around here. Yeah? Have you been waiting for this time of year for a while? Well, stick around. I got some fun stuff to talk about. Okay, so last week we ended up going to Gulf Shores. We had an amazing time, a great week, but something happened that we were not expecting, because usually around this time of year down at Gulf Shores, well, it's staying pretty warm. Well, that was not the case last week. It turned off chilly really quick. And I don't know, there's something about when those temperatures change that get us all excited around here. Yeah, there's certain things that we love to do. For instance, we ended up going to the Tanger Outlets, right? And there they have a Bath and Body Works. Our daughter just wanted to go in there. She loves smelling all the stuff. So we walk in, and one of the scents that they find, well, it smells just like apple cider. And that's one of those things we really look forward to this time of year. Sure, you can have your pumpkin spice, but for me, I'm really looking forward to the apple cider a little more. So my wife, of course, she got some of that, some lotion, some body spray. Stuff smells so good. It makes me hungry at the same time. Anyway, there's that. And then something else happened. You see, we were camping, and so we had the use of a kitchen. And so we went and got groceries, and we decided to cook. We cooked just about every day while we were there. But guess what one of the recipes was? Guess what we decided to make while on vacation? Well, Matt Mitchell's a pretty funny guy, and he hit the nail on the head. I'll let him share it.
Ooh, it's so cold. Kids, don't you come out here unless you bundle up. It's happening. I gotta make chili.
Yep, we made chili. That's one of the funnest things about fall, right? That hot chocolate. Oh, by the way, we were able to enjoy some s'mores too. They had an outdoor fireplace at the place that we were staying. And I'm telling you what, we did have a blast, but learning to embrace these colder temperatures, it just like somebody flipped a switch. It's crazy. But hopefully you've already made some chili. If not, I bet you that you're going to start putting stuff down on the grocery list to go pick up. to make it tonight because, hey, it's that time of year, right? Right now it's 45 degrees in Coleman, 46 in Bluntsville, 49 right now in Scottsboro, and 50, the warm spot, right here in Gunnersville. And I just looked, and Joel Modis has been hanging out with us down in Palm Coast, Florida. And I was wondering, what kind of temperatures is he seeing? Well, I just checked it. 62 degrees. Pretty cool there this morning. Hope you're having a great morning so far, Joel. And that's not the only person listening to us right now on the stream. I see you down in Birmingham and right here in Gunnersville. Thank you for making us part of your day. And our friends over in Helsinki, Finland, hanging out as well. Thank you for being here. Now, a familiar voice with a message.
Hello, my friends. It's me, Pooh Bear. And I just wanted to remind you, no matter what happens, always remember, you're braver than you believe, you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you think. And stay sweet as honey.
So I know sometimes our kids get tired of going to school, but it's a magical place where they learn so much. And let me tell you, there's some amazing teachers who are pouring into our kids. One of them, well, that's Mr. Ike, and he shares stories with us from time to time about what's happened in his classroom, and I love hearing from his perspective because we don't hear from teachers that often. So here's just one little story of something that's happened in his classroom that I bet is going to touch your heart.
Hello, my name is Matt. I'm a teacher, and today I want to tell you a story about waffles. I was teaching 6th grade, but one of my students, Rebecca, wanted me to stop by her specialty class and try one of her new waffle recipes. I am not one to turn down free food, especially breakfast. So the next day I came to her class and all the waffles were laid out from all the students. They looked, well, let's just say they varied in appearance. Rebecca saw me and brought over a waffle right away, and she was so excited. I call this celebration surprise because after you win a big game, you bite into it and it's got a surprise inside. That's awesome, Rebecca. So what's inside? Nice try, Mr. Ike. Taste it. Come on, taste it. So I took a bite of Celebration Surprise, and it was surprising. So, Mr. Ike, what do you think? Do you like it? Feedback can be hard sometimes, especially when the person is really eager to receive it. So you have to pair honesty with hope, and then be invested in the results, too. Rebecca, I think this is a great start, but for me, it's got too much something. Too much surprise? Yeah, I agree. Too much surprise. Do I get to try version 2, though? Yeah, come back tomorrow and you can try it again. I ate a lot of Celebration Surprise that week, and Rebecca and I agreed that they just kept getting better and better. But my favorite version was the original, because I got to see where it all started from, and that's a pretty special thing to be a part of.
I love stories like that. Those teachers are doing some amazing work in those four walls of that school, and sometimes they deserve a big pat on the back. I mean, the patience that they have to teach so many kids at one time, that in and of itself is worth a lot of congratulations. Seriously. But man, they are making a difference with our kids every single day. So if you're a teacher, you work at the school in any capacity, janitor, bus driver, cafeteria worker, anybody working at those schools, thank you for what you do. You are making a huge difference. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Going great.
Wonderful. What's your name?
Danielle.
Danielle. All right. So what are you up to right now?
Well, I'm taking my daughter to school. She is in 3rd grade. And she's happy the weekend's over.
Oh, cool. All right. So, hey, has fall break already happened?
Yes.
Did y'all have a great time?
Her fall break was last week, and yes, we had a great time.
I'm so glad to hear it. All right, let's see if we can continue the fun. I got this question here. Now, this is a very relatable thing because I've noticed this too. When the cat's away, the mice will do what? Are they making hay? Are they writing an essay? Are they going to play, or do they eat way?
They're going to play.
They are going to play, and sometimes they get in trouble when the cat gets back home, right?
This is true.
But thank you so much for playing this morning. You just won yourself 3 gift cards. 1 to keep, 2 to give away. I wonder if maybe you can tell me about 2 very special people in your life that mean a lot to you.
Well, I would like to start with Ellie, my daughter. She is just so kind and so loving, and she loves Jesus, and we missed you last week.
Oh.
Like, a whole lot. We had went somewhere first thing in the morning, and I was like, did anybody hear the Carline competition this morning? And they were like, no. That was weird, right? So we checked the next day, and I didn't realize you were on vacation.
I got you. Well, I'm back now, and we are ready to play this Carline competition. Hey, thank you so much for listening. It really means a lot, Danielle.
Thanks. We love it.
All
We
right.
love this radio station.
Very cool. Hey, remind me your last name real quick.
Smith.
All right,
We're gonna
thought so.
roll. We're gonna roll the gift cards over.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
we've won some in the past, and we're just gonna roll them over today.
all right, we'll do it. Thanks again for calling, Danielle.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So much fun. Oh, I love it. All right, so not 3 gift cards now. We've got 6 gift cards. 2 to Wendy's for Frosty, 2 to Albertville Home Bakery for a couple cookies or cupcakes, your choice, and 2 to Caring Heart Thrift Store. I mean, how cool is that? 6 gift cards? That's a lot of love you can share. So let's do this thing. I got a second question right here. Wonder if you know the answer to it. All right, here we go. In chess, which piece moves in an L shape? Is it the pawn, the rook, the knight, or the bishop? 256-505-0885 is a number to call. Again, in chess, which piece moves in an L shape? Is it the pawn, the rook, the knight, or the bishop? 256-505-0885 is a number to call. Waiting on your call right now. Again, it's 256-505-0885. Hey, good morning.
Caroline competition?
Yes, sir.
What was the question?
All right, so I don't know if you've ever played chess before, but here's the question. In chess, which piece moves in an L shape? Is it the pawn, the rook, the knight, or the bishop? The
Pawn?
bishop. Nope, it's not the pawn, so is it the rook, the knight, or the bishop?
It's tonight?
It is the knight. Bud Williams, congratulations, sir. Yes, you just won some gift cards. What do you think about that?
I think I'm gonna roll them over.
Sure enough. So, man, we will share the love, and I'll catch up with you later, okay?
Okay.
Thanks for calling, bud. Oh, roll tide, by the way. We're always talking about some Alabama football, me and Bud Williams. Well, hey, tell you what, he just won 6 gift cards and decided to roll them over, so that means that you stand the chance of winning 9 gift cards on this question. Is it going to be you? Are you going to be the big winner? Well, let's find out right now. Which is a branch of medicine that focuses on the elderly? Is it phogiatrics, geriatrics, pediatrics, or cardiology? 256-505-0885 is a number to call. Again, which is a branch of medicine that focuses on the elderly? Is it phogiatrics, geriatrics, pediatrics, or cardiology? 256-505-0885. There's my caller. Stay on the phone line while I start this next song, and I'll get your answer. Here's Jeremy Camp with My Defender. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Great. Blessed. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great too. I can't complain. So, what are you up to today?
Just waiting to go to work.
All right, let's see if we can have some fun here. I got a question for you. Now, there's this branch of medicine that's focused on the elderly. Is it called phogiatrics, geriatrics, pediatrics, or cardiology?
Geriatric.
That's exactly right. Geriatrics is what I was looking for. And that just got you 9 gift cards. What do you think about that?
Really?
Yeah, 9 gift cards. That's a lot of love to share.
That is a lot of love.
I wonder if you could tell me about 2 very special people in your life that mean a lot to you.
That's hard because I have a lot of special people in my life. My mom, for one, and then my husband, but the people I work with are just amazing.
Tell me something special about that mom of yours.
Oh, man. She's my best friend. We've been through a lot together. I love her so much.
Wow.
She's the best woman I know.
And tell me something special about those coworkers of yours.
I mean, I just love them. I mean, they have brought so much to my life and taught me so much.
Awesome.
They're just a blessing.
Yeah.
They're loving and caring.
Well, thank you so much for sharing the love. Let me grab your address real quick, and I'll get these gift cards sent your way.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Wow, I can't believe I won. You're the only station I listen to. It's so uplifting. And I get in the car, or I'm at work, or I'm at home, and it just reminds me of how good people can be. And the music is just, I just love it.
Wow. Thank you for listening. You're the reason why we're here, Angela. Have a great day, okay?
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
And that is how it's done. The Carline competition, 9 gift cards given away this morning. Wow. I've had a whole lot of fun talking with every caller, and we've rolled those things over twice and had such a fun time doing it. who knows what's going to happen tomorrow when we play it again. So be here at 7 o'clock, okay? All right. Hey, tell you what, I've got some weather, some word of life, some ministry and business impact partners to get to, and we've got your drive time devotion coming up too, so stick around. Thank you for listening to 88.5 JFM, where we're trying to make your day just a little bit better. Looking outside these JFM studio windows, seeing plenty of clouds, but I got a feeling it's still going to be a great day, and a Monday at that. I know sometimes we get so bogged down thinking about getting back in the grind, but you know what? It's another opportunity. What does the Bible say about it? Today is the day the Lord has made. I'll rejoice and be glad in it. Sometimes it's harder to do that than on other days, especially when it's cloudy outside, but I've got something to warm you up a little bit. I got something to, I don't know, maybe brighten your day a little bit, okay? It's a word of life. And I'm about to share it with you right after I tell you who's bringing you your forecast. That's none other than Green Contracting, LLC. They can make your dream home a reality. And their phone number is 256-302-0644. Now that word of life from Psalm 9, verse 1, in the New Living Translation of the Bible. I will praise you, Lord, with all my heart. I will tell of all the marvelous things you have done. What kind of marvelous things has he done in your life? He's done a lot, right? When's the last time you shared your story with somebody? You told somebody about what God did for you. Well, I think maybe today is the day that you could do that again. And we've made it real easy for you to start that conversation. That word of life that I just read to you is all across our socials. That's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And it's always at the top of our website as well. So you can just share it with a friend and add a comment as to what it means to you. Hey, it's important to share your faith. In fact, it's the Great Commission. Jesus told us to do it. So, hey, why don't you use that to do it today? Makes it a little easier, you know? Here's Toby Mac with Faithfully right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better.
This is Pastor Gary Kraft with your Drive Time Devotion. One thing that our world never seems to be short of is conflict. Whether it's between kids fighting over a toy, a snack, or who will sit in the front seat, or it's between races, nations, or in-laws. Where two or more people are gathered, there's always the possibility of conflict. Like porcupines in a snowstorm, we huddle together for warmth but continue sticking one another. That's why the teachings of Christ are so revolutionary. He paves a pathway to wholesome togetherness. The pathway is not easy, but doable with His assistance. The pavement stones for such unity include a true understanding of the worth of others, regardless of their differences or their deficits. Paul referred to this path in Philippians 2 when he told us, "Do nothing from selfishness or empty conceit, but with humility consider one another as more important than yourselves. Do not merely look out for your own personal interests, but also for the interest of others. Have this attitude in yourselves, which was also in Christ Jesus." What was Christ's attitude about those who crucified Him? He offered forgiveness, and in fact died to give it to them. He considered their potential salvation more important than His own welfare. Not many of us are good at such an approach, but we can grow in that direction with the help of the Spirit. Invite Him today to affect your attitude and watch togetherness grow. Let's pray. Father, open our eyes to the value of others, even those who disagree with us. Plant the attitude within my heart that Christ displayed on the cross. I know I can't make it happen. You can. In Jesus' name, amen.
I know what it is to trust God and to look around, and none of this makes sense. None of this makes sense, but I still trust God. None of this looks the way that I thought it would, but I still trust God.
Opportunities are everywhere to impact your world in pretty creative ways. There's an Amazon driver who just noticed this kid was having a hard time with his tie. You see, Luke was getting ready to go to the homecoming dance, and he wanted to look right. Dad tried to do the tie for him, but it was a little long. Well, that's when this driver stepped in and really changed the game. You have got to hear the story. Now, one of my prayers lately is, God, I ask you to help me walk through the doors that you're opening for me. And I ask you to help me avoid the doors that you've closed, because I want to step where He leads, right? And sometimes that's in helping other people. And that just comes down to being aware of your surroundings. Well, there's this Amazon worker who did just that. And it's making a viral story out of Chicago. and it'll put a smile on your face. Here's just a little tease.
You know, this guy's just doing his job. He's seen a guy in need, and he helped out, and I couldn't be more happy for him and my son.
This dad's so thankful for the Amazon worker stopping to help his son with his tie, and let's just say he looked fly for the homecoming dance. I'll tell you more about it after Lauren Daigle, and these are the days. When it comes to style, I know I could really use some help. I remember trying to tie a tie for the first time ever, and guess who taught me how to do that? My grandmother. She had a really cool way of doing it, and so I always used that knot until I got a little older and I got to looking on YouTube, and I found different ways of doing it. So it was like a single knot that she taught me how to do. But then you've got all these other really fancy knots so you can make with your tie. And, you know, I don't wear a tie very often, but when I do, I want to make sure that it looks right. I really love wearing a tie with a vest. That way I don't have to worry about how long the tie is. If it's too long, well, I can just tuck it in my pants. At least it looks like it's there, right? And when it comes to a tie, maybe you prefer, well, the clip-on ties, or whatever your preference, you want to make sure it looks good. And ladies, you know what I'm talking about. That tie has to be just right. It can't be too skinny at the top. Can't be too fat either. Well, here's the deal. There's this guy, and he's an Amazon driver. His name is Elijah Bryant, and he was just out and about doing his job when he noticed this young man outside of his house taking pictures with some friends, and he was all dressed up. He had on the suit, but the tie just wasn't looking quite right. Well, that's when Elijah decided, hey, you know what? I think I can help this guy. So how did that happen? Take a listen to this.
So my dad just did it. I don't know. It was still like kind of long.
There you go.
And then he looked at my outfit, I think. And then he looked at my tie. He's like, your tie looks long. Like, let me redo your tie. And we did the tie way better.
He did a way better job than I could. I have no style. So
he made it like kind of shorter. And so like it was like fatter at the top and just like a nice style.
You know, the guy's just doing his job. He's seen a guy in need, and he helped out, and I couldn't be more happy for him and my son.
Killing the game, young man.
See?
I love this story because it's something so simple. You know, just seeing somebody need some help with the tie, offering to help, and then going ahead and doing it. And man, what came out of that? We're talking about. Now, this happened in Chicago, and we're talking about it here in Alabama. Why? Because it's good news. And I love sharing good news with you, something that'll put a smile on your face and something that might actually inspire you to do something good for your neighbor today. So I want to challenge you. Find a need today. And if you have the means to fill it and see if it doesn't make you feel better to be the hands and feet of Jesus. It's a pretty big deal. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Isn't it funny how your priorities change as you get older? You never think about it when you're young. Me being 41, first, I never really thought about being 41 before, but here I am. And yeah, I'm not, well, as fast as I used to be. I'm not as agile as I used to be. Things are changing in my body, and I get it. But, you know, when it comes to those flashy cars, they're nice to look at, but have you noticed how close those things are to the ground? How hard it is to get in and out of them? I came across this little story here that's almost too relatable, and I wonder if maybe you can relate with it. All right, so here we go. An Airbus 380 is on its way across the Atlantic. It flies consistently at 800 kilometers an hour at 30,000 feet when suddenly a Eurofighter with a tempo Mach 2 appears. The pilot of the fighter jet slows down, flies alongside the Airbus, and greets the pilot of the passenger plane by radio. Airbus, boring flight, isn't it? Now have a look here. He rolls his jet on its back, accelerates, breaks through the sound barrier, rises rapidly to a dizzying height, and then swoops down almost to sea level in a breathtaking dive. He loops back next to the Airbus and says, "Well, how was that?" The Airbus pilot answers, "Very impressive, but watch this." The jet pilot watches that Airbus, but nothing happens. It continues to fly straight at the same speed. And after 15 minutes, the Airbus pilot radios, "Well, how was that?" Confused, the jet pilot asks, "What did you do?" The Airbus pilot laughs and says, "I got up, stretched my legs, walked to the back of the plane to use the bathroom. Then I got a cup of coffee and a chocolate fudge pastry." You see, the moral of the story is, when you're young, speed and adrenaline seems to be great. But as you get older and wiser, you learn that comfort and peace are more important. It's called SOS, slower, older, and smarter. A little reminder to all of us that we need to slow down and enjoy the rest of the trip. What do you think about that? I love it, and it's something I'm experiencing. I love sharing little stories like that to really put things in perspective, and I hope it hit you just the right way. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Sometimes you just can't win for losing, and I can relate with Laura. You see, Laura decided to share a little something on the socials. On Twitter, she wrote, "While on a Zoom, I received a message from the host. And this is what they said. While I appreciate you staying muted, we can see exactly what you're thinking based on your facial expressions. I'm going to ask you to turn off your video as well. Thank you." Laura responded with, "I don't know how to not be this person." I can't tell you how many times somebody has told me that I just look like I'm disgruntled, that I look like I'm ticked off. And I'm not ticked off or disgruntled at all. I might be focused on something because there's a lot of stuff going on in this brain of mine most of the time. So I'm sorry if my face doesn't communicate to you that I'm a happy person, but get to know me and you'll figure out that I actually am a happy person. It might not look that way all the time, but I assure you, it's true. Can you relate? What makes a commercial better? Is it a creative script? Something that really makes you think? Is it adding humor to it? Or is it if the commercial has a really good beat to it? It's real like catchy, like an earworm, like it stays with you all day. You know, there's some things I could think about, like Empire Today. That's. I bet you just heard the jingle. I just said it and you heard it because you've heard it so much on the TV. Yeah. Well, I've come across this store. It's a lumber store. They decided they needed a sick beat, and so the owner decided he would try to rap a little bit. And you might think this is a monstrosity, or you might think it's the best thing ever. Either way, I'll let you be the judge after For King and Country. And what are we waiting for? So I really pay attention to commercials. Why? Because, I write a lot of scripts here for the radio station, for our business impact partners, right? And so I want to make sure they're creative. I want to make sure they grab your attention and they communicate to you what our underwriters have to offer. That's part of what I do. So I sometimes really do just watch the commercials. I don't just hit mute. Sometimes I hit mute, but lots of times I just listen, I watch, and I love when they come up with these really cool jingles that get stuck in your head, because that keeps them top of mind. And every time you think about a product that they sell, well, you hear that little jingle and it helps you remember, right? It could even have the phone number in it. Well, I came across a story of a lumber company. Now, this is up in New Jersey. And they're having a fall flitch frenzy. What's a flitch? Well, I didn't know either. So I went ahead and Googled that one. And a flitch is a slab of timber cut from a tree trunk, usually from the outside. Okay, so that's what it is. But they thought they needed to get a little more creative with their ad. So, here, you just need to hear it. And you might love it, you might hate it, but you need to hear it. So here you go.
We're a lumber store, but we're so much more. We've got what you need to complete that chore. Slabs and boards, oils and burls, we sell them all to you boys and girls. Maple and oak and walnut this nice. Where are you gonna find cherry at this price? Let's all go on a shopping spree. Did I mention everything here used to be a tree? Tree. Did I mention everything here used to be a tree? Tree. Did I mention... Willard Brothers Woodcutters, we got the score. Exotic hardwoods, live edge galore. Well respected in our industry. Maybe that's cause the wood's all free. Now wait a minute, did I say free? I didn't mean free, just less pricey. Let's get everybody boomers to Gen Z to come on down to a fall flitch frenzy. Let's get everybody boomers to Gen Z to come on down to our fall flitch frenzy. Fall flitch frenzy.
Willard Brothers Woodcutters, 300 Basin Road, Trenton, New Jersey, 08619.
What do you think about that? Right? I want to hate it, but I can't. It's got a catchy beat to it. I don't, it's kind of growing on me. I might listen to it again after I hit the music here for you. But isn't it weird how sometimes we can gravitate towards stupid stuff like that? Or maybe it was the worst thing ever to you. Well, to each their own. Here's Tasha Layton with Love Lifting Me. Sometimes you're just in a tough spot and you need a pick-me-up. And I'm glad I found this guy because he's really good at that. His name is Brian Trent. He's from Hampton, South Carolina, where he pastors Lighthouse Church. And he and his family are always posting stuff over on the socials. They go by Trent Tribe. And I just wanted to play one of his most recent videos for you because this can definitely help.
What do you do when you're just not feeling it, especially when it comes to your relationship with God? From time to time, someone will say to me, I'm just not feeling it. I'm in a valley or a rut. I feel like I'm just going through the motions, and to be quite honest, it'd be easy for me to just give up. And they say, can you help me figure out what to do? Some even say, I wish I could feel what you feel. What they don't know is that sometimes I feel the same way, and I feel like God is distant sometimes. Truth is, we all experience that, and the devil would like for you to think you're all alone, which is discouraging. And I can assure you, he's not here to encourage you. So here's what I do during those seasons. I remember this is a walk of faith, not a walk of feeling or emotions or favorable circumstances. It's a walk by faith thing. 2 Corinthians 5 says, I walk by faith, not by sight. But what is faith? Hebrews 11 says that faith is the substance of things hoped for. That's like having a deed or a legal document guaranteeing your right to a piece of property. So faith is like having the deed in your hand. But how do I get faith? Romans 10 says faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So when I face times and I'm just not feeling it, I take advantage of that time to increase my faith by putting more of the word of God in me. And what I've seen every single time is that God ushers in a new season in my life. And it drives out the feeling that God is distant and ushers in the assurance of knowing God is near. And in the new season, not only do I know that God is near, but God actually reveals himself more than he ever has before. So feed your faith. Not your emotions, not your feelings, your faith.
Well, the cool thing about going on vacation is you learn a thing or two. And I'm getting ready to share with you what I learned from my vacation last week down in Gulf Shores. We spent a lot of time in Foley, Alabama, and discovered something that's been there for quite a long time. And it's something I'll remember. Yeah, and maybe it'll help you out next time you're around Gulf Shores. So stick around. I'll get into it next. A top vacation destination has to be the beach, right? It's so much fun. Put your toes in the sand, get out in the water, just smell that salt water. There's just something about it, right? Well, that's where we went last week. And at the beginning of the week, it was great. It was nice and warm outside. The water wasn't too cold right there in the Gulf of Mexico. And we got in the water, had a good time. But then fall happened. It's like they flipped a switch, and here we were. It was way too cold. So we didn't do a whole lot more of the beach that week. Instead, we went exploring around Foley. That's where we were staying at a little RV resort called, what was the name of that place again? Pirates Cove RV Resort. Oh, by the way, it's not just RV, it's RV Resort. And it was a really cool place. They have like an indoor pool. It's so nice. They have a lot of things you can do. And they don't just have like the basketball court. They actually provide the basketballs. They don't just have the net for volleyball. They actually have a volleyball you can play with. You don't have to go rent it. And all kinds of other stuff. Pickleball, volleyball. They had a huge playground. Our daughter loved the place, and they had a clubhouse. You could go in there and play pool. My daughter Grace is becoming a bit of a pool shark. I just got to warn you, she's getting pretty good at it. But we had a blast, and one thing that really caught me off guard was how cool Foley actually is. Everybody is always so enthused to go along the strip there, right along the beach. You know where the hangout is, and all along there are a bunch of shops and things to, restaurants, things like that. Sure, that's fun, but I think Foley gets overlooked a lot. I want to tell you about a couple things that we found. The first was Stacy's Old Time Soda Fountain. I don't know if you've heard of this place. It's kind of off the beaten path. It's right there in the middle of town, but it's on one of the side streets. It was opened in 1929. So we're talking about 94 years of being a community hangout spot. And let me tell you one thing that I learned. Those Old Time Soda Fountains, when you get a milkshake there, they don't play. No, you see these old glasses, right? They're kind of tall and they're cone shaped. Those things hold an amazing amount of milkshake. And the funny thing is, when you order a milkshake, they don't just give you the glass with the milkshake in it. No, they give you the actual container that they mixed the milkshake up in. So you basically get two for the price of one. It's crazy. There's a lot of ice cream. I got a peanut butter malted milkshake. Oh, it was delicious. My wife, she got the peach milkshake. It was good, but I liked mine better. So that's the one piece of advice. if you're ever at an old time soda fountain and they do milkshakes, be prepared to get a lot of milkshake. Yeah, 2, really, when you just ordered 1, which was awesome. I thought I was going to explode, but anyway, they had a pretty cool player piano in there too, which was kind of neat to see. I haven't seen those very often. And the second thing that we noticed was this little shop called Bagel Boy. You ever heard of this before? They do bagels in some very creative ways. They do some bagel sammies or bagel sandwiches, and my goodness, they're good. So I don't know. That might be an opportunity for somebody to franchise and bring some kind of bagel shop to North Alabama, because that stuff is good. I'm just saying. So if you haven't checked it out before, Bagel Boy in Foley, the next time you're down at Gulf Shores, it's a lot of fun. So basically, it's just 2 of the things that we learned while we were there. I'll share some more as the week goes on, but we did have a good time. Recharged the batteries a little bit. Had some great family time, and even did some karaoke on Friday night. That was a lot of fun too. Oh man. So fall break, it's meant for family fun, for recharging the batteries, right? For some good family bonding. Well, you know, there's something that's kind of hanging over our kids' heads the whole time that they're on fall break, and it's this little thing known as a reading log. Yeah, I bet you forgot about it. Second and third graders especially. My daughter's in 3rd grade right now, and yep, she's got a monthly reading log. Now, if she gets everything read, she gets a prize at the end of the month. That's a great way, I think, to inspire kids to read. Bribe them a little bit. That works. But anyway, my daughter Grace, she's been reading a little along. She remembered over this past break, and so she's read a little bit in this book she got from the library before she got out for fall break. So I think we're going to be okay. But I wonder if you have a hard time getting your kid to read. Yeah. It's one of those things I think is so relatable for so many people, because there are iPads and there are screens and everything can be watched in video form now. So what's the point of reading? Well, it is important, I know it, but just trying to turn your kids onto it can be really hard. Well, take for example, Sam is a mom of 4, and let's just say she might know a thing or two about parenting, but she's at a loss when it comes to this. And I wonder if you can relate, Mom. She says, I was unpacking my 2nd grader's backpack when I saw it. The miserable weekly reading log sheet tucked inside his folder. I knew it was coming. We were in the 3rd week of the new school year, but I was hoping we could somehow forget this nightly tradition. It was bordered with cute graphics of books and lined down to the bottom. In the top left corner, there was a stapled reminder sheet flapping around with bold and capital letters. Weekly reading log, do not lose. Please return to school every Friday, fully filled out. My heart sank. Because while some moms might find this just mildly annoying, or maybe even enjoy forcing this daily reading workout, I know that I need to gear up for the battle of my life. Because my kids don't just put up the occasional complaint or little fight about reading. They entirely refuse. I'm talking about SEAL Team 6 level commitment to their mission of never reading, and I'm not sure what to do about it. Yeah, so you know what? We might be able to help each other out. Coming up here on the show, I'm going to finish that story off, what Sam has been dealing with, and I'm going to ask you for strategies on how to get your kids to read. What are some ways that you have done that? So I'll give you that cue to call coming up a little later on in the show after your weather and your word of life, and we'll get through the second part of that story, and then we'll have a little discussion about it. Sound good? All right. Be thinking about it, because I really do want your opinion. Coming up shortly. We are talking a little bit about this struggle of getting our kids to read. Do you have that struggle too? Yeah, sometimes my daughter, she just doesn't feel like reading, and I get it. She's been at school all day, and she's got homework, and then she's got reading on top of that. It can be a lot. So we've been talking about Sam's situation. Sam is a mother of 4, and she's really having a hard time with this whole reading thing. And we're going to pick up part 2 of the story and give you a chance to chime in. And let's discuss a little bit about how we might be able to help Sam in her current situation. At 8 and 10, my older kids have at-home reading expectations from their teachers. And I've tried it all. Begging, bribing, fighting, and ignoring. None of it has worked. I've also tried Audible books and reading aloud to them myself, but somewhere between their ADHD and stubbornness, the comprehension really falls short. This summer, my oldest was headed into middle school and was told to pick one book from a pre-approved list to read while he was on break. Then he was supposed to create a meaningful written, illustrative, or artistic assignment to show his understanding of what he had read. While I asked him 52 times to choose a book, I finally caved and chose one for him. Finally, I picked up Finally Something Mysterious by Doug Cornett, about a man who wakes up one morning to find thousands of rubber ducks on his lawn and the kids in the town who work together to solve the mystery. That sounds super fun, right? Like something a 10-year-old would find interesting? Who doesn't want to find out where the ducks came from? I know this because of the summary on the back of the book and the illustration on the front cover. Well, I told my son every single day in August to do his reading. I downloaded the Audible version and even pressed play for him as he sat on his bed with headphones. And still, by the start of the school, my son had not learned anything about his assigned novel. So how did he do the post-book project, you ask? Well, I ordered him a bunch of rubber ducks and he glued them to a box and called it a lawn. I guess he's hoping his teacher doesn't ask how the mystery was solved. And I know it sounds like I'm enabling him or something, but I'm at a loss. Maybe he must suffer the in-school consequences of refusing his at-home reading assignments. I'm just not sure that'll have a big enough impact. The scary secret of parenting is that sometimes you just can't make them do stuff they've decided not to do. And they're missing out. I love books. There's so many wonderfully written early reader and young adult books filled with incredible stories that prompt imagination and creativity. Not to mention the brain and language development that comes with reading on a regular basis. Reading is one of those things that pays off not just in the long term, but immediately too, because it's just so fun. Ultimately, I'm hoping that they'll grow out of the full refusal stage at some point and find a more balanced relationship with books. And hopefully they can channel this level of stubbornness and determination in their lives to ultimately stand up for important causes that they believe in, other than anti-reading. So what do you think about that? Do your kids have a hard time reading? Do they refuse as well? Or did they, and you found a way around it? Ooh, that's a good question. I wonder, how do you get your kids to read when they don't want to? We could really help each other out as parents. So call me up. Let me know. 256-505-0885. How do you get your kid to read when they really don't want to? 256-505-0885. Waiting on your call right now. Talking a little bit about reading this morning and how sometimes our kids just completely refuse to read, but it's part of what they're supposed to do for school. It's really a struggle, especially with those reading logs, right? And yeah, even between grades, when they're coming out of one, going into the other, and they have a reading assignment, maybe a book or 2 or 3 that they're supposed to read so that they're ready to go when the new school year starts. Well, that can be problematic too. We shared the story about Sam and how she's really been having a hard time with it. Asking you, how do you get your kids to read when they don't want to? What's a strategy? What's a tip? What's a trick? Something to help us out, those of us who have a hard time getting our kids to read. The number is 256-505-0885. While I'm waiting on your call, I did find a couple of tips that I want to share and may have to start using these at home as well. Luckily, Grace, well, once she starts reading, she's good. But getting her to start is kind of tough. So maybe a few of these pieces of advice would help us and maybe even help you. Here, I'll share them, okay? So we have to model good reading behavior. What does that mean? Well, even if you're not really a reading person, somebody who enjoys books, maybe grabbing one and kind of keeping it around and actually reading it every now and then in front of your kids would inspire them to do something of the same with a book that they really love. Or here's a really cool way. So you know that your kid is really into something. Say it's a TV show. Say it's a particular movie. Well, lots of times you're going to be able to find reading material based around that. For instance, this happened just a couple weeks ago. So my daughter loves Big City Greens. You ever seen it over on the Disney Channel? It's about the Greens. They're from the country. They come and move to the city. It's really a lot of fun. And I found a transcript of one of the episodes that had all the different parts in there. Tilly had her lines, and Cricket had his lines, and it went on through. It was the episode about when they were back home in the country and they ordered pizza. And just watching my daughter light up as she assumed the role of different characters on the show, reading the lines to that cartoon episode, it really lit her up. And I don't know, something like that might work for you as well. So all you have to do is go to the internet and type out the name of the show that your kid really loves and type in the word transcript. and see if something doesn't pop up that does the same for your kid. That's one thing that we found was really effective. Another thing is, well, whenever you go on those road trips, make sure that your kid brings along a book. Don't just say they can only bring a book, especially if they're used to having an iPad or a screen, something like that. But here's the deal. When they get so bored of the screen, of playing Roblox, or they have really bad signal through a certain stretch of highway, well, they always have that book to fall back on so they can open it up and start reading it. Who knows? They might prefer the book over the iPad before too much longer. It's just something you have to kind of weave into their life. So that's just a couple of tips, but I want to hear what you've done. Proven methods to get your kid to read when they don't want to. The number's 256-505-0885. It could be your kid, it could be your grandkid, it could be your nephew, your niece, a kid in your life who didn't like to read, but somehow you got through to them and helped them to love reading. 256-505-0885. Here's Mac Powell with 1991 right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. I was doing a lot of reading back then. Let's see, I was 9 years old in the beginning of 91. And now another installment of Timeless Wisdom from Rodney Norman. Sometimes we just need these little reminders, so here you go.
You ever do something really stupid and think, I'm kind of an idiot? Well, sometimes you just gotta do stupid things to remind yourself that you're not that smart. And then when you realize you're not that smart, then you start asking questions and you start asking for help, and then you start getting help, and then you start realizing you didn't know as much as you thought you knew, and then you learn something, and then you become smarter. But then you realize that part of becoming smarter is knowing that there's certain things you're kind of dumb at. So okay, let's think about that for a while.
We will, Rodney. We will. Thank you for that pearl of wisdom. No, seriously, sometimes we need to remember that, right? Hey, it's been an absolute blast hanging out with you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I do want to finish things off the way that I started them, though. This is with your inspiring quote of the day. Now, this thing is so much fun because it gets deeper as the day goes on. It's funny how it works, but here we go. The greatest use of a life is to spend it on something that will outlast it. Think about that for a second. Wow, the greatest use of a life is to spend it on something that will outlast it. What are you leaving behind? When your race is run, what are people going to remember about you? How will you have changed the world? I like to think of it like this. I want to leave it better than I found it, you know? So, how are you doing that daily? Well, if you're not right now, maybe make a few small changes. And then just keep going with those small changes until you see big results, because that's how you get those big results. And hey, I want to hear about those big results too, so be sure to share them with me, okay? All right, I'll see you right back here tomorrow from 6 to 10 for another Lifeline Morning Show. In the meantime, you can catch the show as a podcast at 10:15 over on Spotify. Just search Lifeline Morning Show Podcast. I'll see you back here tomorrow again from 6 to 10. Can't wait. Hello, thank you for listening to the podcast today. I'd love to just know, where are you listening to us from? Are you over on Spotify or Apple or maybe over on Google Play Store? Where are you listening to this podcast from? I would love to know. Please drop me a line at Steven, that's with a V, at 885jfm.com. I would greatly appreciate it. And while you're at it, let me know what you like about the show and what you would change about the show. I want to hear your opinion. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.